We are ready.
All righty. It is so wonderful to be here this evening. Welcome. Hi, Coach Jennifer C.
Hey guys. Hey everybody. It's been a while.
It has been a while. This evening, we are going to be talking about today's food environment and the everyday challenges that we face that make it so hard to manage our weight. And I feel like it's just so easy at times to feel like there's something wrong with us, when the reality is that we live in such an unsupportive culture. We blame ourselves, but we are not to blame. So let's face it, the food environment has never been more brutal than it is today. But the reality is that people just don't talk about the environment as the problem. Again, it's much more common for us to blame lack of willpower, for us to feel like we must not want it badly enough. And certainly these are not helpful responses when the reality is that the environment is totally out of control, not the people in it. And this is going to be a theme of our discussion, and we are going to repeat this numerous times. Now, I could share hundreds of examples. I feel like I was made for this evening. But just to share a little story, folks, from just this past week, I was traveling 5 days with my family, snuck out 6 o'clock in the morning to grab a morning coffee and get in a workout. And I walk into the hotel lobby, and suddenly I see bags of cookies.
Unbelievable.
I think I must have yelled, like, what is this? And the person at the desk said to me, oh, I can assure you they are individually bagged for COVID protection and safety. And I wasn't thinking on that front. I was more thinking like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Cookies.
And I see bags of cookies. So of course I took a peek in, and each little bag had 3, from my perspective, massive cookies. So just to confront the reality of that, 6 o'clock in the morning, I easily could have consumed 1,000+ calories. I literally would have then needed to go at least 10 miles just to offset the unexpected cookies that I stumbled upon. So we're going to hear so many examples, but then each morning as I went back for my coffee before the workout, they had blondies, brownies, and I'm sure this isn't going to be a surprise to anyone here. Every time I walked through the lobby, folks were just grabbing the bags of cookies en route to wherever they were going. So tonight, folks, I am joined by Coach Jennifer C. This is going to be a fun one, and we are going to share so many examples and hear from you as well.
Yes. And again, hey, everybody, this is Coach Jennifer C. And thank you for joining us. See lots of folks joining in with us tonight. So thanks for being here and taking some time out of your busy schedules to join us. And it's amazing that the lady's reaction was COVID, and you were thinking like, oh my goodness, cookies at 5 o'clock in the morning. And so it's just, you really never know some of the challenges that we're going to be faced with, so we can prepare as good as and well as we can. But who would ever expect 3 giant cookies at 5 o'clock in the morning?
It was technically 6, but still.
Well, 6 o'clock in the morning. And
they're at 5.
Around this time of year, I'm always so surprised. And so I have, you know, there's higher calorie foods everywhere, but when you go into a store, August, I know we're kind of mid-August now, but it was the beginning of August. I remember walking into a Target, or I think it was maybe a Kroger, and I saw already out on the counters and being, you know, in the ready to get ready for. Any guesses with what we were talking about? Like what's already out in stores? You've guessed it, you guys. The Halloween candy. So already getting ready for Halloween, which is in October, beginning of August. We had our Halloween display ready to go. Yep. And so again, our goal for this event tonight is to highlight these environmental changes in show how out of control our food environment has become. And in doing that, maybe give ourselves a little bit more room for those moments, but maybe we do fall short of our goals, or maybe even do give in to some of those temptations because they're everywhere. It's about maybe giving yourself a little bit of grace, but also thinking about what can I do so hopefully I can prevent that from happening the next time. Because it does happen to all of us. And remember, our theme for tonight is that it is the environment that's out of control, not the people in it. And we want you guys to have fun with this episode too, because what we're up against is hard. And not that misery loves company, but we can share in some of the challenges that we're facing and kind of get a good kick out of it, because it is pretty out of control.
It certainly is. And we have so many folks joining us. Let's welcome Bob. So great to see you. Susan, who so candidly shared before HMR, I would not only have had a bag or two, I wouldn't have changed anything else about my calorie intake or output to make up for it later. Of course, that's what everyone else was doing too. We have Shane. Coach Sandy is with us and also managing the feed. So if you have a question, she will certainly be chiming in throughout this presentation. Great to see Leanie. Who else do you see, Jen?
Yeah, I see Lori. Hey, Miss Lori, we'll talk tomorrow in the morning. And I know Jennifer, she's on with us. So Julie, day 2, welcome, Miss Julie, not only to our event, but to our community. And
Yay.
Definitely hope you get some great tips on for tonight, for this week. And we have Miss Susan. So Susan, a coworker, and also Miss Susan H. So great to have you guys.
It's wonderful. I see Carolyn. I see Shane, of course. So just for people who are joining us, it's so nice to have you here. And just to provide a context for our discussion, at HMR, we often refer to our unsupportive culture with the phrase, the gap. So you can see this image. It could use a little bit of a fashion makeover.
We still had the box TV.
Yes, exactly. But I still think it, captures really beautifully that there truly is a disconnect between what we need to do to maintain our weight and health and what we're up against in our culture. And it is literally getting wider every single day. So as we are going to share examples, and I want you folks to chime in too about the unsupportive culture, we always want to remember, why is our task so challenging? Why are we up against these high calorie foods all the time? And then in addition to that, which you saw in the image, it's also difficult to build physical activity into the culture. So we have the high calorie foods everywhere. And then we also have the sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah, just a double whammy that we're up against. And so to have these examples be meaningful to each of you, I do want to take some time to review calories and what your specific daily calorie budget is, because we all have one. And many of you are familiar with this information because you've been in the program. And so I'm just going to show you how to actually calculate your daily maintenance calories. So this is going to be your calorie budget for the day. So while I'm sharing this, I am going to explain what this exactly means. And so we all have a calorie budget, and your daily maintenance calories represent how many calories you need in a day to maintain your current weight. And from this example, you can see that our men, you're going to take your weight and multiply that by 11 to get your daily calorie budget, maintenance calorie budget. And my ladies who are joining or watching later, you're just basically going to add on a 0 to your weight. So you're going to do your weight times 10. And you can also do this example, not just with your current weight, but if you want to get a sense of even more of the challenge that you're up against, you can kind of do your goal weight calculations. So you can kind of get a sense of kind of what that will look like. And if your goal is to maintain your weight, then you need to make sure you're balancing out those calories. So every day, we're going to have different calories coming in. But if you're working to manage your weight, then over time, then you need to balance out your calories so that you're maintaining that weight. Now, if you are looking to lose, then you are going to need to be below this budget consistently to help you to lose weight. And now, if you are looking at this number and thinking, oh my goodness, as we're going through the example, it's going to make it very apparent why it is so challenging, the task that you're up against. So take a second. If you all want to go ahead and calculate either your current maintenance calories, you can go ahead and do so. Or if you want to take a moment to identify what your calorie budget will be at your goal weight, you can get a real sense of, and really relate to some of these examples and why it's so important. We're bringing this perspective to you guys tonight.
We have some nice comments, Jen, just folks being so honest, of course. We have Karen who shared, I've been doing HMR for 6 years. The gap still grabs me sometimes. It absolutely gets me too. I didn't mention if I stumbled into any of those.
I was going to dare to ask. Now, Miss Kate, did you have one of those? No,
not at 6 a.m. I may have had some nibbles at other times.
But you are in phase 2, my friend.
I am in phase 2, absolutely. And I also saw Bob had just commented, reflecting on his pre-HMR days, cold pizza for breakfast, did that sometimes several days a week. It can happen. So, Coach Jen just painted the picture of calculating our maintenance calories. And when we take a look at some of these examples that we're going to share, and then you're going to share too, it becomes very apparent why it is so easy to gain weight in our culture. So for folks who are just joining us, our theme is an unsupportive culture. We had a chance to highlight that and also discuss maintenance calories, and wanted to begin with a little guessing game. So we're going to talk calories. I feel a little bit like Drew Carey from The Price is Right here. And you are going to guess a food. So we're going to show you 2 meals from the Cheesecake Factory, which is certainly a popular chain all over the country. And you are going to guess which one has more calories. So when we share the picture, and I'm going to describe the ingredients, you can even start typing, but don't press send or enter until I say so, because I'd love to get a lot of comments. We don't want someone else influencing your opinion.
Nope.
All righty. So if you want to show us some pictures.
All right. Here is our first dish that you guys are going to be deciding on.
It does.
So what do we have here?
This is the Thai chicken dish. Sauteed chicken strips, lettuce, carrots, rice noodles, cucumbers, bean sprouts, cilantro, peanuts, sesame seeds tossed in a vinaigrette. Does look tasty.
Very tasty.
Option 1.
Option 1.
The Thai chicken.
Okay, we ready for option 2?
Yes. And which one has more calories? Option 2, Cheesecake Factory Caesar salad. The almost traditional, must have a little something different in it, recipe with croutons, Parmesan cheese, and our special Caesar dressing. So which has more calories?
Now I want you guys to remember too, so I'll show you them again. But with the Caesar salad, this is just a Caesar salad. There's not a chicken, there's not chicken on this, there's not anything on here. So we have, gonna go back through it again. So we have our Thai chicken dish. So this is one of your options. Then we have our Caesar salad as an option.
Yep.
So we may need to start the clock. Which
Ready,
one do you all see?
Set, go.
How many calories?
1 or 2.
So 1 or 2, or you can write out the whole thing. We'll give you guys a moment to get in these, get in your votes. So Lori has number 2. So the Caesar salad. Sandra has the Caesar salad. Option Jennifer, I may have given it away. Did I give it away? I'm guessing. So Susan says, I'm guessing the salad has more calories because you're trying to trick us. So, Todd has option 1.
Yes.
All right. Are you all ready for the winner or the loser? I don't know how we can say.
I don't know.
It's the Caesar salad is the winner for the most amount of calories.
You might have tipped us off because you suggested the salad looked a little bit lonely.
I know. I gave it. I shouldn't have said anything. Should not have said
and I feel like we had so many folks who thought either way, it's close, because the reality is that the Thai chicken salad, 1210 calories. The Caesar salad was 1270. Oftentimes people will add chicken for 1500.
Right.
With the chicken, it also came in at 119 grams of fat, 73%, which was pretty shocking to me.
Right. I know.
But especially coming off of 5 days of travel, where I am in phase 2, one of the things that was just really disappointing for me is that walking in our shoes here, right? We go into a restaurant, we're trying to make a healthy choice. And in phase 2, we often think about veggies plus protein. So I could totally see myself ordering the Thai chicken dish or the Caesar salad with or without chicken, thinking that I was making a choice supporting me. Each one of those is even slightly more calories than an entire day on a healthy solutions diet. And again, we're not talking appetizers, sides, drinks, desserts. Pretty crazy.
Right. Yeah. And it's, I see it all the time, and I do it for myself. Like now I'm in phase 1, but if I'm eating out in a restaurant, you want to take a look. And I oftentimes go to the salads, and then I'm like, wow, 1,800 calories in salad or 1,500 calories in a salad. And so that awareness, I don't know what we can call it. Is it, I guess it's just ammunition. It's just something to help support us. But knowing the calories can be really helpful. But also, it's okay if you're feeling like, man, I thought I was doing something good by getting that Caesar salad. Yep. So we're right there with you.
Yeah, I mean, the dressing alone at 100 plus calories an ounce, and then many ounces. Would love to pose a question to the audience, and that is, anyone notice, calorie amounts on certain restaurant menus? And I'm curious if folks have come across any foods that you were just really surprised when you noticed how high in calories they were after your investigation. So if so, take a moment to share with us what we need to be on alert against.
Right. Yes. And so we're not here to be all doom and gloom. We're just here to provide some perspective, as well as acknowledge that we, and I say we because Kate and myself are also practicing and trying to navigate in a culture that's very unsupportive to have a healthy lifestyle and also be at a healthy weight. So we're right here with you guys. We're in the trenches, but not to put more kind of salt on the wounds, you may say, but I have another example of what makes weight management and losing weight so challenging. So according to the U.S. Commerce Department, for the first time ever, Americans now are spending more on dining out than at the grocery store. And this is a problem given the typical food offerings in most restaurants today. We just saw 2 from the Cheesecake Factory. Both were over 1,200 calories. But, the more and more people that are eating out, and I know that I have a lot of family members and friends who are opting to eat out and not go to the grocery store due to COVID. So I know we're in kind of a different season, but you may want to be supporting your local restaurant and wanting to eat out. And so that can make it difficult.
Or Jen, ordering in from the restaurant to your home.
Yeah, right. So, take a look at this example from the CDC. And what they were reporting is that the average large size cheeseburger and fries meal, so this is also including a regular soda, contains 1,300 to 1,600 calories with that. So your cheeseburger, your French fries, and your regular soda, 1,300 to 1,600 calories. So if we went back to our example of, I think I used a 200-pound lady for the calculating her budget, that would be over like a third. I'm not a math person, but we need Nancy here. But that would be close to like a third of her calories for the day. like if not more, actually 75%.
Yeah.
Yeah, of her calories for the day. So we'll have to, if anybody's good at math, you can definitely take a look at that and help me out in the
Yeah, I
comments.
mean, 1,500 calories is 75% of her 2,000 calorie budget. But if she's wanting to lose weight, that's all she can have for her day.
Right. Yeah. And nobody's gonna, I mean, that's not a lot of food at all. And when we're thinking about this, back in the day when like a Big Mac came out, it was seen as an extreme example of like nobody had seen such a large hamburger or cheeseburger. And now this example compared to what we have now are, yesterday, extremes of yesterday are the norms of today. And they're not getting smaller. They're just getting bigger and bigger.
So, yeah, it's so true. When you look at these foods, they're, decades ago, you couldn't even find meals this large, and they actually don't even look large at all compared to many other offerings. What's so great is that folks are already offering suggestions.
Yes.
We will have time towards the end. Susan had mentioned at a restaurant getting the only healthy choice in the menu, grilled shrimp, slices of cucumber. Watching the family eat their apps and desserts is so hard. Salad without the dressing is a great suggestion too. I saw another suggestion of, avocado, baked potato. So we are going to want to make sure that this isn't all doom and gloom. We have strategies too.
Absolutely. And I love Bob's comments that at this point in my HMR journey, I'm not surprised at anything about how calorie counts are, like how high things are. Totally. And that's what I know we were talking, like anymore, I'm not really surprised. It's almost like, what are they going to come out with next?
Yeah, it's so true. And of course, burger and fries are very popular foods to consume in our culture. But even if you're not feeling like I'm a burger and fries person, the average entree in a restaurant, no matter where you go, you're going to look at about 1,200 calories. 1,205 was a recent study. And again, not including appetizers, drinks, desserts. And then this is also interesting.
Yes.
The average meal from American, Italian, and Chinese restaurants, which are again among the more popular, was just shy of 1,500 calories just for the entree.
Right. And I know this is from I think 2016 we see this. So just imagine, you guys, how much has changed with this. So this was just looking at the average entree many years ago, and how much has changed in that course over that time. And
I've been with HMR since 2005, and every single time I read another study, the calories have gone up. It's just shocking.
It is. It is really shocking. And then it's like, no wonder we have 70% of Americans overweight or obese when we're navigating in a culture where an average entree is over 1,000 calories in one sitting.
So folks, even take a moment if you've thought of other examples that you've stumbled across, you want to warn us against.
Yes.
Take a moment.
Put a warning.
To post in the feed.
Yes. Yeah. And Trish, great to have you on. And we have Leanie and Candace and Charlotte. Welcome everybody tonight. Thank you for joining Coach Kate and myself.
And I think we're stressing out Leanie, which is not the goal.
Yeah. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to stop watching. Don't stop watching. So let's go ahead. And again, a theme of our episode tonight is the environment is out of control, not the people in it. And so again, like Kate mentioned, if you have examples, make sure you're sharing them. So we were just talking about basically eating in restaurants. We heard from Cheesecake Factory. We have the average kind of burger and fry, and also looking at the most popular cuisines today. Let's kind of tiptoe a bit into beverages. So these are some calories that can really add up with people who are not even considering them. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel constantly bombarded by just food advertisements on the radio, on TV, on commercials. When you go down the road, there's so many fast food restaurants out there. And I was struck by a recent Arby's radio commercial. Of course, they were talking about their sandwiches, but they put in a plug for their shakes. And no, they're not talking about HMR shakes. They are talking about their milkshakes, about plugging it in as like an addition to your sandwich. And that doesn't mean you've had another meal, so you can come back later. So that got me thinking, of course. My HMR brain started going. So of course, when I got home, I looked online, and I was just thinking of a seasonal. So their most seasonal one, when I looked, was the orange cream shake. So small, 530 calories. So you could very easily have your meal and a shake for well over 1,000 calories. If you want to go big, 950 calories for the large creamsicle. Now, I just want to put in a plug. Rick, I don't think he's watching, but he's going to be watching later. His creamsicle shake, his go-to favorite is the Diet Orange with vanilla extract and the vanilla shake.
And it has the word orange in it.
It has the word orange in it, but his shake, I think does he do a double or single? I think he does a double.
I think he does a double, yeah.
Double. So using the 120, that's 240 calories. For, you all have seen the picture.
So it literally fills his whole, yeah.
So 240 calories compared to, even they're small, 530. A large is 950.
Small.
I know, the small. So that's just one. And if we want to go to another popular kind of joint to get beverages, Starbucks. So this is a really popular restaurant today. And again, just keeping with the theme of what's popular right now, they have and all these have, fruit or vegetables in the name. So we have a strawberry funnel cake Frappuccino. So just the grande, 410 calories. So this, compared to all our other examples, you're like, wow, that's a win. I should go to Starbucks. No, that's not what we're telling you. But consider, this is just a beverage. This is not going to be a meal. This is not going to be, just how easily it could be added into your calories for the day.
Yeah. So, when we were talking, Jen, about the salad from the Cheesecake Factory and the Thai chicken, and then these examples too, with fruit or vegetable in the title. When I was traveling with my family in Maine, there was a huge sign in front of the Dairy Queen that said, "We now offer smoothies." Now, I did have my shakes and my entrees, all my stuff with me. But I did take a peek at the menu, and the smoothies were comparable to what you were saying, 500 to 1,000 plus. And I don't think actually contained fruits or veggies. So there you
have it. But you may think it's a healthier choice. It's a smoothie, not a milkshake. Yeah. Yep. So
we have chatted meals. We have chatted drinks. We didn't discuss cocktails, but we can all imagine both.
That's another day. That's another day.
But one of the things that I often just feel bombarded with in our culture is just these treats, these little bites, how creative there are snack opportunities for us everywhere. Right. And one of the things that I've come across is, you had mentioned in chatting with me, the nothing bundt cakes, some cookie crumbles. Mm-hmm. And when you take a look at these, it's like there's no need for a special occasion just to have some bites.
You can just go in.
Some of those nothing bundt cakes we looked at, 300 to 400 per serving. Mm-hmm. The crumble cookies are 100 each. They also sell them in 6-packs. And I can even think of some personal examples too. My husband brought home some takeout not too long ago, and they just threw in all of these. It looked like there was at least 20 mini biscuits. Mm-hmm. And so you just have some bites, and you have a bunch of bites, and you have more, and at no point you feel like you had an entire meal. Right. But these bites, easily 100 plus calories each.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. So we could go on and on and on and on with these examples. And of course, there's always going to be another episode about how challenging our culture is, because it's important to face the reality of what we're up against. And again, it's hard. It is hard to fight against this culture and try to go against what most people are doing and practice healthy behaviors and be at a healthy weight. And not only that, keep it there. This is another thing that shows us why it's so hard to once maintain a weight loss that you've lost and been successful at keeping off long term. So I know we're going to dive into some strategies, but I also we have so many examples, but one that specifically struck me, and I've seen some comments about condiments, but Texas Roadhouse, just their side of honey mustard dressing. So just a side. And how often do you just maybe get one side of salad dressing?
I think Coach Rick may have ordered it once.
Maybe we'll throw him under the bus. He's not here or watching, so we'll have to. But 450 calories, you guys. That's not even talking about the roast or the salad or any. That's just the dressing is 450 calories. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I just get like, it's maddening to think what we're up against and what we're fighting. So, Kate, do you think it's time to learn how to combat this gap?
Yes.
Okay, let's get it. Let's get our armor ready.
It's been so great. We already have folks posting examples of, what they do to not fall into the culture. I just noticed that Jennifer, you mentioned, making a strawberry shake every night with a serving of a vanilla shake, water, etc. You folks can see her recipe, frozen strawberries. And I know the first part of this has felt a little bit doom and gloom, but we need to confront the reality of the culture.
Yeah.
But the good news is that through our program, we plan, we have tools, we have skills. And so I'd love to spend some time really having each of us take a moment to post what is something that you do to prevent you from falling into the culture. And it isn't about perfection. I'm in phase 2. So it's not that I can only have HMR foods and fruits and veggies, right, but I need to have a plan to have low calorie episodes in my day. And I need to really be on alert about the culture. So even just having a chance to connect with you about some of my travels. I had 70 plus puddings in my car. I either made in a plastic cup or a couple times I even made directly in the 70 plus, opening it, propping the sides, pouring water carefully and stirring. I always have cereal in my car. When I'm home, I do like to make the cereal in the microwave with water, but on the go, literally can find hot water and make a cereal. I don't call my entrees cold. I call them room temperature. And in fact, a couple of times in the car, they're toasty. On the road, I had penne pasta with meatballs. I had cheese and basil ravioli. I had pasta fagioli. Totally fine. There were just numerous times when I was on the go that if I didn't have something with me, I 100% would have stopped at a drive-through. I have never regretted having had HMR foods and fruits and veggies with me. And believe me, there have been numerous times when I have regretted not.
Right. And so you mentioned you are in phase 2. I've currently been in phase 1, and it doesn't, phase 1, phase 2, if you assume that if you go out in our culture and you're going to find a salad or you're going to find fruit, like you're leaving that up to chance and the environment to control what you're going to have. And we just spent like 30 minutes talking about all of the different higher calories and getting some perspective on what's out there. And so if you are just assuming that it will be there, you're putting yourself at risk to be like in a danger zone where the calories are going to be super easy to add up. And so,
I was just thinking, back to my hotel example, 6 in the morning, they happen to not put out apples or bananas. I had them because I brought them.
Right. Yeah. Because you would have been looking at cookies more if you didn't have them, like you mentioned. And so some other things, and I know being in phase 1, and I know we have a lot of people who are watching and tuning in who are in phase 1 early on, it becomes so apparent how many times and how many opportunities we have to eat off the diet, which we call eating out of the box. And just imagine why it's so important to focus and commit to being in the box, because just a few of these little episodes could really put you, gaining weight. And we don't want you to do that. We want you to be successful. We want you to lose your weight and get it off quickly. And so some things that have really worked for me is not only taking things with me and being prepared, but avoiding some of those situations if I can. So really picking and choosing where I have to go. If I absolutely have to go, going later, or looking at taking my things with me. I've taken an entree to a restaurant. One of my very favorite things is just to get lettuce and put the turkey chili on top of it, or get a baked potato and put a turkey chili on top of it. I've also even asked them to heat it up for me, and most places will, without giving you any kind of question, especially if you let them know you're on a special. I kind of supervise diets, or I have special dietary needs. Nobody's going to argue with that. And making sure I stay satisfied. I know when we're trying to lose weight and diet, we are wanting to, like, let's put it off. I want to save my calories. So if I'm not hungry, why should I eat? But I know we were just talking about this, Kate. When I came down, I had made it's kind of like a cinnamon roll shake, because my kiddos' honey buns were looking very, very appetizing to me, because I normally keep them in a closet where I don't see, but they were heading out, and one of them must have grabbed the box and put it on the counter, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, that would be so quick and easy, and I could have it real quick. I'm like, I'm going to make a shake. And so I just put a little bit of our multigrain cereal in with the vanilla shake and some sugar-free vanilla pudding. So a tablespoon of that, absolutely delicious. And I think a little bit of cinnamon. So we all have a choice at the end of the day, but especially if you're wanting to get weight off, have this be different. Choose to tolerate doing what you can to stay in the box 100%. And, you want to have those two behaviors that you can enjoy.
Shift, Jen, to stay ahead of the hunger.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for a long time, and I've become more skilled, but to have a shake before I leave the house, to have an entree in phase 2 before I go to a restaurant. I never would have done anything like that before.
Right.
And again, we don't regret having had something, waiting too long, thinking about your situation with your kids. All bets are off in terms of us making the choice that we want. So I would love for folks to take an opportunity. I already see a couple wonderful examples.
I know. I was going to share, we have some amazing strategies that people have been doing. How
do you protect yourself from the gap? How do you protect yourself from getting into the higher calorie food choices? Just a couple that jump out to me. Susan said, instead of going to a fast food place, when you're on the road, find a grocery store instead. You can find fruits and veggies, which is wonderful.
As soon as you go into the store. Yeah. Karen is talking about, a family and friends get together, taking something safe for you. So again, making sure you're in control of that. And she has made a caramel apple salad that has become a family favorite. And I have to say, I know Susan was asking about that. Karen, please share that recipe, because I'm sure it would be helpful for others to take with them, whether it's, phase 1 appropriate or phase 2 appropriate. We have both who are tuning in.
Yep. I saw Julie had shared just her example, learning over the years to get the dressing on the side and just dip a little in the fork to get the flavor. And when you think about a number of the examples that we shared today, the Caesar salad at over 1,200 calories, certainly the Texas Roadhouse honey mustard dressing at just shy of 500 for the dressing alone. How many hundreds of calories can come in from the dressing?
Right. Yeah. I know many, I think I saw a comment come in early on about taking your own dressing. So, you could keep it in your purse. I know Walden Farms has these little to-go dressings that you can just keep in your purse, or just take with you to take in, to really help you, because that's a lot of extra calories coming in. A
couple folks mentioned, I know Jennifer mentioned she loves the orange soda shake. And then we had Jennifer, you just mentioned her evening shake. And think about evening times when we might be a little bit tired, relaxing. We didn't even share ice cream examples, but you look on the back of many of those cartons. And to me, it's such a joke, because I'm not going to share with 4 or 6 of my family members the small ice cream.
Yeah, the serving size. Right.
It's going to be a serving size N of 1 for Kate.
Right, right. Yeah.
Some of these examples, just think about, every time you make that choice to have an HMR food or a fruit or vegetable, you're saving yourself hundreds to thousands of calories.
Absolutely. Yeah, so keep those coming, and your strategies that you do to really tackle and combat our gap. And again, if you're just tuning in, you'll definitely have to go back and watch this video. It will be in our Facebook community back in the video, so you can watch it. But we're just talking about the challenges that we face. And now we're getting into some of those strategies that can really help us. And there's so many different specific environments that we can tackle. But I know that Kate and we gave you some general strategies that could really help you. I mean, we didn't get into the movie theaters, we didn't get into the evenings or the snacky things that are in your house. It was more of kind of the out in restaurants and out and about things that we're bombarded with. And so I'm sure there will be an episode to come that we will tackle some of those other kind of challenges and get perspective again, because we are up against a really tough challenge. So you ready to bring it home?
I wanted to know too, I know we
Mhm.
did speak a bit about restaurants. You know, Sandra mentioned she orders a garden salad, puts an entree like pasta fagioli on top. Doesn't even need dressing. So that's a great thought too, that the entrees have nice sauce that can often serve as a dressing in and of themselves.
Yeah, many of them do. Yep.
She has, when she's traveled, she takes the meals for the day, she puts them in a thermos. So they actually are warm. They don't have to be room temperature.
Right.
The shakes are great in a thermos too. Sandra, I have a bunch myself. One made by this company, Takeya, Takeya, and another made by Thermos. And my kids have, done experiments that the shake I made super early in the morning, hours later, is still the perfect consistency. So that's really wonderful prep. Good for you, Sandra.
Yeah, nice thinking. Yep.
So folks, we have had some fun today talking about the temptations in our culture. And I know that we do tend to blame ourselves and feel like we should have more willpower. There's something wrong with me. And I want everyone to really feel very confident in the fact that we are not the problem. The food environment is totally out of control. And while we did share a lot of examples, it was really just to have our radar up about what we could stumble across, why weight gain in our culture is so easy, and really make sure that we stay true to the HMR principles, that we can combat the gap. We can plan, we can bring our foods, and we really have an opportunity to be successful despite an unsupportive culture. So it's been so wonderful to have folks with us this evening. Certainly for people who are watching it after, please still make sure to post your successful strategies. And we are wishing everyone a successful and healthy week.
Right. And one last note, just keep at it, you guys. I know the culture is not going to get any better, but we're here together to help support you. So make sure you keep coming, and, like we mentioned before, give yourself a little bit of grace, but make sure to keep it on. All right,
thanks, everyone.
Have a good night. Thanks for joining us.